Hello, GDQ. My name's Drew. I go by DruciferPlays on Twitch and YouTube. I'm joined by moonblazewolf and Bobby Blackwolf hosting. Thank you both for being here. And we're gonna keep this horror block train moving. So I'm just gonna jump right into the saves. So we're gonna start a fresh file, but we have these just in case something happens. Countdown starts after I hit yes here and start skipping a cutscene. So I will cue you as soon as that happens. All right, and let's go. 3, 2, 1, let's go. We're off. So in SIGNALIS, we play as an android named Elster, specifically an engineering android. And in this universe, androids are known as replicas. And you'll notice our ship doesn't look too good, so I guess we haven't been doing our job. But now we're here looking for our partner. We're on a ship called the Penrose 512. These ships are built for the purpose of exploring the far reaches of the solar system. And right now, it doesn't appear like we're doing that. So right now we need to find our partner who would be in this cryogenic pod, but she's not. However, we do have an ID card, so it'll help us get out of this ship quickly. But the ID card is broken, so we're gonna need some tape. And this is not the last time we'll be seeing some duct tape. Who knew duct tape would be so helpful in the outer limits of space? Okay, so we're moving right along. We're entering the airlock now. I'm gonna trigger this. Ooh, that is the map. Okay, there we go. And that's our first item combination puzzle out of the way. And now we're moving right along into the outside on the planet we've crashed on. It's called Ling. And I'm gonna say this is a good time for our first few donations, if you have any right now, Bobby.
I absolutely do. So we have a $25 donation from Nick O saying, great holes secretly are digged where Earth's pores ought to suffice, and things have learnt to walk that ought to crawl. Glad to see Horror Block take a visit to Rotfront. SIGNALIS is one of the most haunting games I've ever played.
I completely agree with that. And we're approaching our first ominous hole in the ground. This is not the last one. There will be many. Also, our first Silent Hill reference, followed by a second Silent Hill reference. But this one is Silent Hill 4 and not Silent Hill 2. We're about to, okay. So if you approach that hole a certain way, you can actually climb in just immediately, but we were a little too far to the left, so that's okay. So now we're gonna climb through this meat hole. That is definitely not a Silent Hill 4 reference. But yeah, now we're in this tiny apartment. I'm glad I don't live here. And we're gonna look at the King in Yellow, which most people would probably recommend against, but we're moving right along. And now we are in one of the main locations of SIGNALIS, the Sierpinski base. It's a base on the planet Ling where we just were, and it's connected to a mine deep in the earth, which we will be traversing shortly. So as soon as I pass through this door, we won't be coming back here, but I will note that the first gun in the game is on this level, and we will be completely ignoring it. We actually will be ignoring all guns until the very last section of the game. And that is one of the about handful of passwords that remains the same throughout every run. There's more that are constant than not. There are a couple that are RNG that we'll get to in a bit. Okay, cool. Just making sure I skip that cutscene. Gonna have to leave our friend on the ground there, unfortunately. And we're moving right along, done with the first floor of Sierpinski. Moving on to the detention center. Much less, or I guess more obviously scary than the previous one. As you can see, there's some trash and a couple of bodies on the ground. Not sure what caused that. So now we're gonna call the elevator to try and get out of here as quickly as we can, but we'll see if that's possible. Oh, well, it looks like we need a card key, but maybe the service hatch key can help in a second. Oh, we don't want to zoom back into that. We want to leave. All right, so now we're leaving the elevator, and I'm gonna try to find our way through this space station, or mining station. Okay, so what we're approaching is one of the biggest reset points in Signalis. It is the lockpick puzzle. We're gonna pray that the lockpick gods do not forsake us. Let's see what we got. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 1. Yep. Well, that's good.
Very nicely done.
Yeah, that could be hard to tell sometimes. That was honestly one of the most ideal setups for that lock we could possibly have had. All right, so now we're gonna get the east wing key, but we'll definitely be back here. Take note of that safe up north. Now we're gonna be moving to the east. So here's the door we need to unlock with the key we just picked up. Oh, I should explain. You see me doing these little wiggles as I approach a door every time. Or every time I have to unlock it. So Signalis has this thing, at least on the down patch, which is what we play the game on, where when you first unlock a door, if you mash interact right after doing that, it actually delays your ability to open up that door completely. But we found that if you stay behind that white line far enough, all you have to do is wiggle, like about maybe almost 45-degree angle. If you're too close, you actually have to like rotate almost completely, or like walk away in order to get through the door as quick as possible. And it doesn't look like it saves a whole lot of time, but it adds up pretty quickly. Also, this door is infamous because as you approach it, there's a brief moment where you lose the interact prompt and you end up clicking on this sign, and it's how I know that's the rationing office. Oh, okay, cool. I was hoping that star unit would be chill and we wouldn't get hit by the backswing there, and we didn't, so that's good. All right, so we picked up half of a broken key. Hopefully we find the other half in the west wing. And now these two corpses that are on the floor have gotten up, so we're gonna just let them do their thing. Okay, sweet, no damage, that's great. And just like that, we are on our way to the west wing. Let me unlock this door and do a little wiggle. All right, so now we're in the west wing, and this is a, I would say about as dangerous as the other side, but nothing too crazy. Things don't get really hairy until the next section. So we're just gonna keep on moving. That's the other half of that broken key we picked up earlier. Let's see. Okay, Star, I'm sorry, we're leaving. I didn't mean to bother you. So now we've got both of the pieces of the broken key. We can open up a chest that's in here that we need to access in order to get to our first-person segment of the game where we're actually controlling the movement. All right, so a weird flesh plate, that's ominous. And here we are. This is actually a different planet than the one we were on. This is Rotfront. It's a radio station on Rotfront. And I will say a lot of these first-person segments we're not actually playing as Elster, at least to my knowledge. A lot of them, they are other characters, mostly the human ones. And now we're grabbing one of the most important pieces of equipment in the game, the radio module. A lot of the puzzles in this game revolve around the use of the radio module and finding the right frequencies to input, certain passwords. Some of the frequencies you use broadcast passwords back to you for safes. Although only one of them is super straightforward. The other one has a cipher we have to use later. Okay, and we found the first frequency. And if we wait to go into the menu to look at it until right now, we can save some time waiting for it to start. 26497. 26497. Well, thought that's what I read.
I thought that's what I saw too.
2, 6. Oh, it's an 8. That's an 8. Okay. Whoops. All good. That happens sometimes, unfortunately, but we'll keep on going. All right. Oh, I should be scrubbing for the other one, but that's okay. We have time to do that. So we're coming up on the first door warp in the game, which is probably the most frequently used piece of tech. So essentially what happens is I go up to a door, and then before I open it, but I have the prompt at least, I open up the map, and as I'm about to open the door, I open up the map, and what you want to do is back out of the menu, and as you're doing that, you try to open up the map again while also trying to interact with the door. And you got it right if, hold on, I gotta get the password. We're gonna have to start that over again, or start the radio again. Let's see, wait a second, and all right. I have to write this down, unfortunately. 50486. And that was a 6 this time.
And an 8.
Yeah, so that is an SEHFR. Yeah, my brain is broken now. Anytime I see letters, I immediately start thinking of these numbers and vice versa, because I've ran this game for so long. So anyway, explaining door warps. You go up to the door, you open up your map, and then you back out of it. And as you're backing out of it, you immediately try to open up the door again and pull up the map at the same time. And what that does is gets the game to open up the door, but it gives you an opportunity to then, as the door is shutting, if you open up the map again, the game will push you into the next room, but not far enough so that you're actually in it, and it will actually register you as out of bounds. And every room in Signalis has a default spawn location in case you do go out of bounds. And because of that, we can take advantage of those spawn points using this door warp technique and just skip entire hallways. It's really useful. It also looks pretty cool whenever it works. So now we're going down to the lower section of the hospital level, and you saw a key on that table. We did not forget it on accident. We will be coming back for that later when we drop back down. And look, a VHS tape. I wonder if it's the one that's missing. Okay, hello. Just not gonna bother this star. Hope she doesn't bother me. By the way, all of the replicas in the game are named after the German words for different birds. Like Elster, for instance, is German for magpie. And, star isn't, I don't necessarily know if that's German, but it's just, a starling. So now with that, we are done with the first section the first half of this particular floor. Now we're going back to B3, and we're gonna do what is called an item buffer shortly, which is very similar in terms of execution to door warps, but the setup is a little different. And for this particular trick, we're not actually gonna warp. We're just gonna use the item buffer to come back into this hallway, cross it, and get to another room while we're in the middle of a cutscene. Okay, so here we go. And so you'll notice the door prompts come up as this cutscene is happening. Let's see if I can get to the door. Oh, we made it. Cool. Awesome.
That was really, really difficult.
Yeah,
that is a lot harder than Drew makes it sound.
There are 2 enemies in that hallway that can get in your way, and while they can't hurt you while you're not interacting with this key, as soon as you start interacting with it, they can start wailing on you, and it's not fun. Okay, so SEHFR. Cool. We got it right the first time this time. Good. Okay, so now we're going to do another door warp. It's actually, we're going to do a pair of door warp. Oh, well, the mouse made her turn around. There we go. All right, first door warp down. This is definitely one of the trickier parts. Okay.
Now that you kind of know what's going on with these door warps too, we've seen 2 of them now. They look so incredibly cool. You basically just respawn on the other side of the room once you're done with the sequence that Drew was describing earlier, and it's again a very complicated trick to pull off. Drew makes it look so easy, and it really does make it so you don't have to do nearly as much backtracking and things like that over the course of the run.
Yeah, it took me several streams of practicing door warping to get it down. It's a really tight window. It's why I was about to box again, but I don't need to. It's why I used to actually sometimes run with a hybrid setup with a controller, but it just became less optimal to swap between those 2 things while I'm waiting for a door to load or something. So thankfully we're all on mouse and keyboard now. So now we're gonna cut through here, try to dodge this star. We pushed it out of the way while we opened the door. That's nice. I like it when that happens. Okay, so let me focus real quick. Cool, I think that was enough, but I could be wrong. Let's see.
Those flares that Drew picked up, by the way, are going to be very important.
Oh yeah,
shortly. So.
Oh yeah, they're my favorite item in the game for a reason. Flares in this game are kind of busted. Oh, how rude. Sometimes they'll do that, unfortunately, where they'll just walk up to the door and be in the way. Sometimes it seems like they do that less when you're playing the game normally, so I guess that helps, but when we're speedrunning, it's kind of annoying. All right, so just moving right along. Even in completely different universe, people do not put their 10-inch sockets back where they're supposed to be. Okay, so now we're going back to the lower floor. We've got what we need to interact with some things down there. But first, before I forget, I need to grab the other piece of this wrench, because of course it's on the other side of the floor where the socket is.
It wouldn't be a survival horror game if you didn't have to run around and arbitrarily collect the random items that you needed to access the next area of the game, so.
Precisely. Okay, oh, and I need to equip the flares and combine these so I have a space for this water key. All right. Oh, sweet, that star is just hanging out down there. And also, I should add, there are units with shields that are definitively called stars. I'm not sure if the other ones that don't have shields, and they also have like this thing on their back, if those are also stars, so anybody's definitely welcome to correct me on that, but I'm pretty sure they're the same unit. All right, so we're gonna do an item buffer again, but this time we're gonna do a warp off of it. This one can be kind of tricky sometimes because if you hold X or back out too much, it'll just back out of the menu completely. Ooh, did we get it? Okay, cool, we made it. And there we go. And with that, we are headed towards the first boss of the game. And I get to show off flares, which I'm very excited for. So with flares, you can instantly down the first two bosses. And if you manage to down the first boss just the correct way, you're able to completely bypass the boss and start the cutscene at the end of the boss fight immediately. There's a chance that when I approach, though, if I trigger the flare a little too early, then Mina will go down and kind of writhe around a bit. Feels a little bad, honestly. But
it's coming up right here, so everybody watch. It'll go fast, potentially, if Drew does it right.
Yeah, we got it. It's really hard to learn, for the record, but definitely doable. If I can do it, you can, I promise. And now we are flashing over again to another first-person segment, this one with Issa, who we would have met twice by now if we were playing the game normally. She's a human that's sort of, her journey parallels Elster's a lot in that she's looking for someone she's lost. Her specifically is her sister, but I won't say anything else because I want everyone to play this game. And a lot of the intrigue lies within the narrative. So here we are. So now we're in the residential section. There are 3 floors to this section. I guess 4 technically, but we don't spend much time on B5. So we're up here right now, and we'll come back up here later to turn on the power for service elevator. All right, doing a little wiggle. Then we're gonna climb down and go to B6. Let's see. Okay, and this door over here, we're gonna do a door warp on. Okay, there we go. So we just skipped an entire like bathroom, locker room, like sort of combination thing that we will go back in later and I will point out. But right now we're jumping down our 3rd or 4th hole in the ground, I think.
We've never met a hole we didn't want to jump down in this game.
Elster just has to see what's at the bottom. All right, so this is a fun room. These Yules, these are called Yule units, by the way. They are in the way of this. Oh, yes, that's...
Nice item grab.
That particular attack, thank you, Blaze. That particular attack right there that Yule on the like sort of southeast part of the room does. It's a little hard to get past sometimes, but it's okay. We can take a couple of hits here and there. All right, so let's see. Are we gonna trigger? Oh, we're not. Yay. She's not gonna bother us. She can just mind her own business. All right, so now we're gonna go back upstairs, like I said, and use a fuse to start the service elevator that was in the lower hallways that we briefly entered.
One thing I just want to really quickly call out about the movement that Drew is doing right now is Drew is actually sprinting at all times. And that was not mentioned earlier, and I just want to make sure everybody knows that this is like fast movement relative to how you would probably be moving if you're playing this game casually.
Yes, Elster moves at a brisk walk whenever you have sprint toggled, but oh sweet, we can just go straight. Love that. Please don't hit me. Thank you. All right, so this part is a little scary sometimes, and I'll explain why. We're about to do the first part of what is called the flash late strat. Basically, it was found that any room where you need to light a door up to access it, Flares will suffice if you manage to set an enemy on fire. So you can just completely ignore the flashlight for the first part of this section. Oh, we pushed her out of the way too, even. I was kind of guessing there, but thankfully we got past her. So any door that is too dark to be opened, or any item that's too dark to be picked up or seen, we can actually pick up if we manage to light up an enemy nearby. So another reason why flares are like just amazing.
It's another example of a sequence break because the game does expect you to find the flashlight item before you can go through those dark rooms. And by using the flares in the way that Drew did, it effectively negates that and allows you to kind of do things in a more optimal order.
Normally we'd have to go all the way down to the bottom level, which takes a minute to unlock even. Okay, so just a heads up, this next room, very visually bright and a lot of flashing lights. Try not to get hit while I explain this. So heads up. I'm gonna do my best to mitigate that. Okay, cool, we managed to dial it back a lot, but this is not the first time or the last time this will happen. I meant to mention that earlier, but I've been yapping, so sorry about that. But anyway, here we go. We're going upstairs to open up the owl or Yule room, or not owl, I think it's the Colibri room? Maybe it's the Yule room, but either way, this is one of my favorite rooms in the game because it has one of my favorite songs in the soundtrack, which by the way is by Cicada Sirens and Thousand Eyes. It is amazing. I've listened to it many times, doing chores and just casually. I highly recommend it. It's on Bandcamp. They just put it on streaming, so.
And another example of kind of like the retro futuristic aesthetic and vibe of this game where we're in space, but we've had, VHS tapes and cassette tapes and all sorts of stuff like that so far.
So we've got another example of one of these doors we have to light up by setting an enemy on fire. So we've done that, and now we're gonna do another door warp. Well, we're gonna try. There we go. All right, cool. So we've got that, and now we're leaving. So we're getting close to finishing up this section. Just need to repair a cassette tape with the tape we just picked up. Okay.
The intensity of this run is just, it's so nonstop. You can tell watching this. Like, Drew is basically doing a trick in pretty much every other room, it feels like, and you're nailing pretty much everything at this point, so keep it up.
Thank
you. It's going super well so far.
I really appreciate it. It's definitely taken a minute to get here. Okay, so now I need to set the radio station up so it's playing back what I just, that tape I just put into the signal, or the broadcasting station. Getting close to, there we go, okay. Oh, I didn't click on the item. That happens sometimes. So this is not the last time we will be seeing this lady on this bed. Her name is Falk. She's really cool, but she's gonna probably ruin my day later. We'll see. Okay, so now with that, we are moving to the last area of this section of the game. I know we've been jumping around a lot, but just to just to clarify, we are still in Sierpinski right now. When we sort of transitioned over to the first-person section, that was a different planet. I believe that was Rotfront as well. I could be wrong about that, but 90% sure, I would say. So we're gonna say hi to these Yule units. Hello, please don't hurt me, thank you. And now we're gonna go to this room up north. This is Adler's room. I would make a mess in here if I could, because that guy's a meanie, but unfortunately can't. So what we're gonna do right now is called the admin key skip, and it saves about, I wanna say like a minute and a half to 2 minutes, maybe less, but it's quite a chunk. The game actually got patched. Oh, I clicked, I guess, after I picked that up, but the game got patched so that you couldn't do that skip anymore, which is one of the reasons we play on a down patch for the any percent run. And with that, we are wrapping up this particular section of Sierpinski. We'll be back in Sierpinski later, but it will look a little different. Now we're moving to the mines. We're just waiting for Elster to finish going down this elevator. We get a good shot of our main character. Ain't she the coolest? Okay. So we'll get a brief shot of Issa hiding from someone menacing. Who? I won't say. Okay. Let's see. All right, so now we're in the mines. We will not be spending much time here at all. If you're playing the game casually, there are a lot of little goodies here. Actually, a little fun trivia thing. I don't know if anybody watching or in the audience here in chat plays Hunt Showdown, but there's a Nitro Express in this game, which is, in my opinion, the only place a Nitro Express is welcome. Actually, there's some ammo for it right over there, hidden behind some stuff. If you feel like sleuthing for some items later when you're playing Signalis, because I expect you all to do so, if you haven't already.
We're giving you homework.
Yes, your first run with homework. Okay, so yeah, we're just hanging on this elevator. It's gonna take a little while to get down there. So Bobby, if you have any donations, by all means.
I absolutely do. How about this? A $5,000 donation.
Whoa.
Yo.
From Rob K.
Yo.
I was absolutely enthralled with this game when it came out last year, as it is such an absolute love letter to the survival horror genre. Big shout out to Yuri, Barb, Cicada, and 1000 Eyes for their incredible work on this game. Good luck to the runner, and thank you for running such a wonderful game.
Well, thank you for your amazing support, and also I agree with everything you just said.
And how about this $1,000 donation from Caitlin Gadd, saying, best of luck to the runner for Signalis, one of my favorite games ever. Incentive goes to runner's choice. We also have a $50 donation from No Wave saying, flew out to SGDQ a day early just to see this Signalis run in person. Here's a donation in honor of our best replica girl, Bayo.
There we go. All right, so we're basically done with the mining section now. We weren't here long, but it was fine, I guess.
And another hole to jump down.
Yep, but not the last. Okay, so we are about to enter every speedrunner's favorite section of the run, the mandatory 2-minute wait. This is the shore. It's an ominous enough place, but we can't move forward on our own at all. We just have to kind of chill, take it all in. There are some notes here on the beach that some of them I believe are from the perspective of a particular character, and then some of them are just straight up excerpts from The King in Yellow. But I'm gonna shut up now and let Bobby read more donations while I climb the side of this cliff.
For no reason in particular.
Yep.
It's just fun to go out of bounds.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have a $25 donation from Lemon saying, hello from the crowd. Stayed up all night to watch my favorite game, Signalis. Good luck to Drucifer. I know you'll do amazing.
Thank you so much.
We have a $25 donation from Justus that says, Signalis is my undisputed game of the year of 2022, and I have been telling everyone I know to play it. So happy to see it at GDQ event. Good luck to Drucifer for the run. Big shout outs to all the crew and staff behind the scenes. Remember our promise.
Heck yes.
And we have a $25 donation from LM Motas saying, good luck, Drucifer. Hoping you don't have to hurt too many Kolibiri while running through Sierapinski.
We will specifically not be hurting any Kolibri. We might do a couple of the radio frequencies or two that make them stop being a menace to my eyes and ears, but no, we'll be pretty nice to them for the most part.
And we have a $5 donation from Larry, and it just says, Drew, drop the hair care routine. What's your hair care routine?
Shampoo, condition, when needed. I will say, don't dry out your scalp. Take it easy on your scalp sometimes. This is a lesson I'm still learning myself, to be honest. But yeah, other than that, I just kind of looked out with my head, unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess. I just want to note we can't see them. Oh well. Well, maybe you should climb that cliff later and see what's on the other side.
There you go.
It's a creepy little treat. It's nothing like super, tangible, but it's fun to see. Okay, so we're gonna try and do a graded door skip, and we got it. Oh my goodness, that's really hard to get sometimes. So we're happy about that. But after that we get stuck on the door. Oh well. All right, so we're gonna grab a ring off this chair and try not to get hit by the storch, and we got hit by the Yule instead, which is new, but that's fine. Okay, so now we're gonna get out of this soiree they're having in here. All right, so here's another room with a lot of flashing lights, so heads up. Well, I'm actually managing to stay away from the Colibris enough that it's not too bad. All right, we're gonna do an item warp off this incense, which, well, if I'm close enough to set up, there we go. And this time, oh, I'm stuck on a chair. There we go. Oh, turn around, Elster, please. Thank you. All right, so with that, we're gonna try to bypass all of these colibris trying to blind us. Here we go. So we're gonna keep going. All right, and now I'm gonna shut off that radio so it's not quite as annoying. Oh, by the way, the name of this location, just nowhere, straight up, just nowhere.
Yeah.
It's you know.
I've heard of that place nowhere before.
Yes, it's somewhat familiar if you're a fan of a certain survival horror franchise. Oh, that's the map. We want to equip a flare. This is our last use of flares in the run, unfortunately. I'm very sad, but hey, at least we get to use it one more time. So yeah, there we go. And there's Issa with the nitro that I was talking about earlier. That's the second boss.
That was a boss fight, yeah.
Yep.
That was the flare, the quick kill flare again.
Mm-hmm. This boss, I will say, is much easier to do that on. I actually, during practice, for the first time, managed to get the flare off on the Chimera, that boss. I think she has another name too, but and not get hit while doing it. That's never happened to me before. But
it was during practice, so it doesn't count.
Yeah, no, not at all. It may as well not have happened. I say that because I don't know if I've ever seen that happen to anyone else, so I'm curious from the community and all that, but we'll see. So this is the first item buffer that I believe we ever found, and kind of spawned the whole search for how item buffers could make things. So what we just did is called the balance plate skip, or otherwise known as the doll skip. And normally we'd have to come back down there and sort of a la Indiana Jones have this counterweight with us to put on that plate where we just picked up that scale where we just picked up that plate, and that would let it. If we didn't have that, there's this mechanism behind us that would close and keep us from escaping the room. So I have a funny story about this room. This is the first barbed wire room. There's two on this level. Back when I first started running this again after getting into GDQ, I forgot that there was health spray in here. So every single one of my runs was basically a coin flip after that room, because if I had managed to not get hit enough up until then, I would not die in the second barbed wire room. But I can't believe I didn't get hit just then. But because of a very helpful community member, one of the mods, Makita, he just shouts out to him in general. He's been in many of my streams and mentioned something that I either wasn't thinking of or didn't know was a new strat, and just saved my runs multiple times. So shouts out to him. Actually, while I'm at it, I want to shout out all the mods for the SIGNALIS speedrunning community. RJ Smangit, Seglance, and the world record holder Lightning. They're all amazing and very, very approachable, and will help you if you ever come to the SIGNALIS Discord and want pointers. There's also a lot of resources there as well, and obviously I'm happy to help anybody that's interested in getting into this too. Okay, so we're getting close to being done with this section. Got a couple more rooms. We're gonna do a door warp off of this. There we go. I love this door warp. This room is enormous. Oh, but I clicked on the door again. That's okay, we can do it again. Not a big deal. What a goofy little thing to happen. Okay, so I'm not gonna touch anything and wait for that to happen. There we go. All right, and so now we're gonna do a puzzle that's just straight up out of Silent Hill 2. Like there's no getting around it, but I also have no problem with that because consequentially, I love Silent Hill 2. Oh, I didn't need to move that at all. All right. And there's the plate we need. Let's see. Okay, so now we're headed back, and you can actually see how long this hallway actually is. It's oh no, both of the Yules are over here. That's gonna be fun. Okay, cool, we didn't get hit at all, awesome. So when we come back through this door, we're gonna hope we don't have to put in the password for this gate. But, oh yes, we got it, cool. That's kind of a coin flip, doesn't always happen. But hey, we got it, so I'm not complaining. So now we're gonna cross the hallway. This is the second barbed wire room we're headed towards. This is like an interim room before we get there, but we're gonna try to do another graded door skip, and we got it.
Wow.
All right, so this room is scary. On casual, it's scary. On survival, it's horrifying. I don't know that you can do this without dying on survival. I think you kind of have to play it normally, or at least safer than I just did. But yeah, we're basically done with nowhere. We just got to go slide in some plate keys in that big door we saw earlier, right after the epilepsy room.
You did get your iframes on that second one coming out
Yeah,
that time, so good movement there.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, I didn't catch the corner like I did during practice. That happened way too many times for me to admit, or want to admit, but okay, there we go. And now we have another ominous hole, but this time we're climbing out of it. And we're about to get to a fake out ending. I'm gonna just go ahead and tell you that now. So if you haven't played Signalis, I apologize for robbing you of the twist here, but there's a fun little reference at the end of that cutscene I was just skipping that is still, I'm not going to spoil for you, so at least you'll have that. All right, so with that, we're starting up the game again, and whoa, we're back on the Penrose, but it looks,
It's looking a lot better.
Yeah, like a little, I got a new coat of paint maybe or something, or, let's see. All right, now, also, you'll notice we have a cute little hat. We're Elster with a cute little hat, and when you see that hat, you know Elster means business, which means we're in engineering mode, which means we got to do all our diagnostics. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going through the ship and completing a checklist that we have to complete before we can move forward. I just checked the pilot deck and the ship status in reverse order, though. Okay, so now we're going to check out the pipes. Let's see. Oh, nice pipes. Okay.
Very nice pipes.
All right, and now we're going to check the cryogenic chamber that we went to earlier with the ID, but oh, look, there's no one in it, or no ID either. So now we're done with this little section, and we get to see our first glimpse of Ariane. She is one of, so I won't elaborate too hard on the multi-layered story of Signalis, but there are technically 2 humans we're looking for. I'm not gonna over elaborate there, but I'll leave it at that. Ariane is one of them. Compartmentalizing trauma, aren't we all? Okay.
It's a metaphor.
Now once more into a hole. This one with a lot more meat than the previous ones, it seems. All right, so now we're entering the shore again, but this time we don't have to wait for anybody. I don't gotta wait for nobody's timer. So here, there are more notes on the ground here. I think a lot of these are just straight up from the King in Yellow, last I checked. Actually, while I'm walking to this boat, I will say there is a lot of interesting commentary, like YouTube video commentary on Signalis. I highly recommend pretty much all of it. It's all very fascinating, and honestly, it's really interesting to see how many people have different takes on like what is going on. I feel like there is like a definitive, maybe arc occurring, but. Definitely seen multiple interpretations of certain events. Also, this game has multiple endings, I should clarify, and all of which are similarly esoteric to all other survival horror ending, qualifications, like take a certain amount of damage and not heal or something, or to explicitly talk to no NPCs at all, stuff like that. Oh wait, I'm about to get ahead of myself. So
another thing on the scorecard is how long it takes you to complete the game, which makes the memory ending by far the easiest, sort of default speedrun ending, if that makes sense.
Yep. There's one in particular ending that like straight up it's like involves playtime. I think you have to have like almost a minimum of like 4 hours or something. There might be a way to get it otherwise. In fact, I think someone in the community was trying to figure out a specific like path to get that ending. Actually, I'm gonna equip my flashlight right now. I did do that, right? Okay, well, I'll make sure I didn't unequip it. But yeah, someone's trying to figure out a fast way to get through to the promised ending. Their name is escaping me right now, but I know it was a difficult investigation because the promised ending, I'll admit, I tried to get so many times and would constantly just get different ones, where some people just got it naturally the first time. Before I ramble any further about the game, I will say we are in the last section of the game. This is Rotfront. This is where a couple of our main characters are from, or at least lived most of their lives. Right now, we are, the objective of this area is to obtain a bunch of these tarot cards in order to be able to proceed further into this strange nightmare that we're caught up in right now. Come on, let's pick up that. All right, so we're gonna go back out and go northeast to this room up here, where there's a Yule and a Storch waiting for us to grab this handle. Thank you. Please don't. Okay, cool. That Storches can lunge real hard, and they have that big old cone head, so they, you know, they can. I don't know if it hurts any more than Yule's does, but they definitely can get you if you're not careful. So, oh, well, I'm gonna do a door warp, but Elster looked like she refused. Okay, so we're doing a door warp through this hallway. This is not the last warp we'll be doing through this hallway, so we will come back to it soon. All right, so now, oh no, a fire. Fire gone. Okay. So now let's go dive into some trash for a floppy disk. While I was practicing this earlier, I'm like, I wonder how many people watching have ever even like touched a floppy disk.
Or a VHS tape. Or yeah.
Good point. So I don't normally do this skip, but why not? Cool.
Show off a little bit. It's GDQ. Come on, man.
Exactly. I started doing it more recently whenever I realized that like the door warp like input is very similar to the type of input you need for third person buffering, like item buffering. There's actually a different window for that than there is for first person. There's like less forgiving, I would say. Cool. Like that is much easier than what I did a second ago. Okay, cool. Just making sure. You can actually kind of hold Elster back sometimes when you're loading into a new room and you do a door warp. Okay, let me move the mouse down here and then select the disk. So what we're doing right now is we're sending a frequency to a particular radio station and in order to access it later to open a box, similar to how we opened that little cute owl container that Falk had while she was napping on her bed. Ooh, that's too far. I mean, that probably would have worked, but
Shout outs to Windows 95.
We can build spaceships, but with Windows 95. Okay, so now I'm gonna scrub over to 210 kilohertz. Yep, that's the one. Actually, something I should note. So there are several different like sounds you can get to play there, and they all like, you know, have their. They don't have the uses really. The one that I have right now is the only one you need, but. There's actually one that will play sometimes just regardless of what you have selected, and it will still be, like if you go to the item you need to play this frequency, as long as you set it up correctly, it will work. But you may not get, like Magpie may not be. I meant to warn you all about that room there, so apologies if anybody's having some trouble with that.
We're going to see that again in just a second if I recall.
Yes, you're right. There's actually another room like that going up shortly. I'll point it out. This time, way more ahead of time. So yeah, it's the next room after this. This one's bad because I have to just walk straight by 2 Calibris. And we'll go back through both of those rooms in a little bit, but it'll be a minute. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. This is such an annoying little combination because if your timing's off at all, it takes a little long. Okay, so. We're gonna do another item warp, and okay, we got it. Oof. It looks like that door crushes Elster whenever. Oh, I don't want to click on that. Go away. I was worried she was gonna swing at me, so I did a preemptive push. Yep. Okay, so this is the box we needed to have this frequency set up for. All right. We have, I believe, 2 more cards to pick up before we're almost done with, or before we have our last boss fight. All right, so let's try not to take any damage if we can, but it's okay. If we do, we're gonna have healing before we get to the last boss. Okay, same room again. Oh goodness. All right. All right, so. I'm gonna turn that off. Okay, so it's gonna come back on, but I can actually scrub this time to get rid of it. This is the same room with all the horrible imagery. All right. Oh, we got smacked, but I also couldn't see that star, admittedly. There we go. All right. Develop fluid. All right, so now we're same room again, obviously. All right. Oh, I hate that. All right, no more Colibris. We're good now. Let's keep moving. Hey, that storage almost always hits me in the butt, so I'm happy that didn't happen. All right, so now we did grabbing the sun card. And I'm not going to click that note.
Leveled up our tech a little bit there. That was a QR code, I believe.
Yes.
Slowly getting to the present in terms of technology.
Yeah, skipping a few steps, it seems.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are almost done with this area. We have this southeast hallway, and then we got to grab a card from the E2's house. Issa earlier, who we ran into. This is her family's old house. There we go. For a split second there, I was like, oh no, I forgot the second half of that.
Let me know if you have time for a quick donation.
Oh yeah. Actually, now would be good. That would be great.
All right. How about this $500 donation from Anonymous? Saying, had to donate for my unexpected favorite game of 2022 in a run showcasing so much great movement and tech. Ask a Storch why the long face for me and remember our promise.
Somehow I haven't heard that one. I love it.
And we have a $50 donation from Jibsy saying, it's 4 a.m. for me, but I just had to stay up for Signalis. Easily my favorite game of the year.
I agree.
And we have a $20 donation from Nyasper saying, I had to donate during Signalis. Thanks, SGDQ, for showing off such a beautiful masterpiece.
Yes, thank you, SGDQ.
And a $50 donation from Pinucci saying, I had to donate during my favorite game, Remember Our Promise.
Yes, we certainly do.
All right, and we're coming up on it here, right?
Yep, this is the last boss. There's some interesting strats we use here that I will explain in this long hallway that I wish you could warp through. So the way Falk works is after you've damaged her enough, she will throw down some spears, and if you've damaged her enough after that, she will go down. Like she'll just be down on her knees on the ground, and you have to go pick up a spear and then stab her with it. Well, if there's a spear close enough to her after you've stabbed her the first time, you can pick it up and stab her again, which is what we call a double. What we want, ideally, is a double right now. Once I've hit her a couple of times. Ooh, that's work withable. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, that's fine. We can get her to go down again, and then maybe get a double here. Nope, that's fine.
A lot of the ability to get those doubles is dependent on where the boss moves, which is fairly random, as well as the attack patterns, and there's other enemies running around, and there's a lot going on, so it's very hard to get the optimal pattern here. I'll let Drew focus on finishing this fight.
Yeah, it's a little hairy here.
You got this.
Go. Here we go. Now she's gone. All right, so now she's picked. It's kind of okay that she picked up those other spears, because if I can damage her enough here. Whoa, that is an interesting placement, actually. I think I can get to her there still. We'll see. I have a save in case this is somehow a soft log. She's right next to the ammo too. That's funny. Okay, let's keep moving, and hopefully she throws down a spear or two. There it goes. Oh wow, that's kind of nice. Although I don't want to die. Oh, and she killed her enemies or her buddies for me. Oh. Yeah, we got it. All right.
Ooh.
Not the most optimal Falk, but we'll take it.
Way to get through that. That was a little rough, but you made it.
Thank you, yeah. It was not the luckiest I've been with Falk, but hey, I will take it. So we have about 4 rooms here, and then I will call time. We're not there yet, but we're getting there. So the room after this, there'll be a little prompt that says go home, and I'll hit yes, and that will be time. Yeah, it's time. I'm skipping the last cutscene because I don't want you to see it. Okay, not bad in-game time. 56. Well, that has been Signalis. Thank y'all for having me, and thank you, Blaze, for joining me, and Bobby for hosting. just real quick, I want to get a few shout outs out real quick and I'll be out of your hair. I mentioned earlier the SIGNALIS speedrun community. I also want to mention the indie horror speedrun community. They were the first Discord and like community of speedrunners I actually became a part of with Stay Out of the House. And the first marathon I ever did with SIGNALIS was with them. And I think they have a Puppet Combo marathon coming up in June, so tune in for that. And lastly, I would love to thank my wonderful partner, Allie, who is watching right now. Thanks for staying up so late at home and keeping up and being so supportive. And with that, I think that's all I have. So thank you all so much for tuning in and staying up late with us.
Let's give it up for Drucifer on his first time on the GDQ stage. We have a $5 donation from Ashiaka that says, Signalis is one of the most entrancing games I've ever played. Memory Ending was my first ending as well, and this game brought me to tears. Such a strong, impactful game. And with that, that is the end of my time here on the host mic at GDQ. I get to enjoy the rest of the week with the rest of you. I am Bobby Blackwolf. Thank you so much for allowing me in your homes for the last couple hours. But don't go away. There's a lot more great SGDQ right after this. Don't close that tab.
Oh my goodness, good evening, everyone. Hey, it's Kung Fu Fruit Cup here, and I'm very excited to be hosting for some more of the Scary Block. How are you all liking the Scary Block so far? It's been good, right? Don't worry, we have more coming up. I can't tell, okay, it might be a little personal, but I'm very excited for this upcoming game, Choo Choo Charles. If you all haven't seen it, you are in for a treat. While we are setting up, let's get in a few donations. How about that? We have $15 from Alex, who says, Signalis is one of my favorite games of 2022, and one I think about constantly. So happy to see it run at SGDQ. And I hope this game gets more people to play this incredible game. Yeah, it was awesome. Again, great start to the Scary Games block, along with that Silent Hill home port mix of games. That was so cool. What a cool idea. I loved that. Keep in mind, as you're getting your donations in this evening, not only are you eligible to win some amazing prizes, you can always go check them out at gamesdonequick.com, but we have our next bonus game open for later on today. To me, it's always evening, but later on today, which is some Mario Odyssey, and I know we also all want to see that. For example, like this $128 donation from Moradin, who says an Odyssey run? Yes, please. We also have $58 from Outstanding Co-op, who says, my dad passed away this year to cancer, same day when RE4 Remake releases. Of all the games we both played, RE4 on the Wii was our favorite one, and I really wanted to play this game with him again. I made sure to complete that game 3 times and will do many more runs to remember my dad and our fun times playing the game. Always happy to donate for any Resident Evil speedruns and to support my favorite charity, Doctors Without Borders. P.S. Do they hire co-ops? I'm rated outstanding for 7 years. Thank you for the story. And Resident Evil's gonna be great. We've got $100 from Scott V, who says, you're all doing amazing work on screen and behind the scenes. Love all that you do. Lesson 3. Thank you so much. Everybody works so hard here. Oh my goodness. Let me tell you. I feel like my job is easy. I see people just, whew, they're there. There's so much love and energy poured into these events. It's amazing. And we have $25 from Lexological, who says, I was about to sleep, but then I heard Kung Fu on the mic and Bird 650 up next. Forget about sleep, give me Choo Choo Charles. That was a good choice. And with that, I'm so excited. It is finally time for us to hang out with our good old friend, Choo Choo Charles. All right, Bird, have a great time. You got this.